Hi, I'm Don Singletary. Welcome to the channel. Guess who became a teenager just last year? This guy, the iPhone, the smartphone, was introduced back in 2007. Now, the world has changed tremendously. And what does that have to do with trading? I'm going to tell you what it has to do with trading. Go back 2 years ago or earlier. You had to trade with up $50 a point to trade a stock index futures contract. Now it's only 50 cents a point. I'm going to do a live trade today with the Dow Jones Industrial Average Micro Emini futures. It's a stock index futures product that's new since May of 2019. And it's really given us mad skills now in personal investing that we didn't have access to as recently as 2 years ago. And I'm going to do a live trade today with this DJIA Micro Emini that trades at 50 cents a point. And I'm going to show you how trading small, well, before $50 a point, you could get in there and lose a week's pay in 10 or 20 seconds. And it was, well, frankly, it was scary as hell. And now you can trade at 50 cents a point, so you can calm down, get rid of that adrenaline rush from the high bucks trading, and try to learn how sincerely take on this task of learning to day trade effectively. And I'm going to show you today's live trade, one way to trade small and how to turn that into gold, because you can gain experience without having to risk the big bucks it used to take. Stand by for that and more. I've been looking forward to this particular trade today because there's not a lot of razzle-dazzle in the trade of the week this time. In fact, the money in the trade is not going to be particularly impressive. But what will be impressive is how you can use the smaller type trades as your key, your opening door to learn your own style and your own way to be able to trade. You know, there's no one formula that applies to every trader all times in every product. That's a myth that the scammers on the internet or anywhere else can sell you for hundreds and thousands of dollars. But the truth is, we're all different between the ears, and we have different risk tolerances and everything else. Let me get back to the trade of the day here. I want the DJIA because it's 50 cents per point. I have bought two of them on this chart. You see the date is June 3rd, 2021. Now, people often ask me, I'm going to do this trade at about 12:30 in the afternoon, and people often ask, well, I see back there between 10:30 and 11 o'clock, I see a lot of green bars going up. There must have been a trade there. Did you do that one? And no, and the reason is simple, is because I wasn't here. That's the only reason. And what I am going to do with this trade, you see from about 11:30 until 12:30 here, there's very low volatility, not a lot of up and down action in the market. That means that this trade at 50 cents a point and low volatility is not going to be a risky trade at all. Now, it's really hard. If you're learning to swim, you don't jump into the deep end of the pool. So what I'm trying to say here is this is kind of a little training wheels trade. You can think of it as baby steps, training wheels, any way you want to. But this is the way you can learn. Now, you can always scale up. Everybody can multiply. You can get a contract that's 10 times bigger or trade 5 of them at a time or do a number of things to get into the bigger bucks. But first, you've got to learn how to protect your account. And also, you need to be able to practice trading in a way that you can build your confidence. Having your confidence intact is just as important as not losing money out of your account while you're trying to learn to trade. Now, the win rate on this type of trading is only about 60%. Anyway, let's get going with the trade here. I'm going to be buying two of the DJIA at 12:29 in the afternoon on June 3rd, 2021. It's a good idea you always take a look at the big picture of what's happening during the day. The market went up at 9:30 all the way up until between 11 and 11:30, then leveled off for about an hour and a half up there. So the trend for the day is definitely up. And what do we know about choosing a trade with lower risk? One of the things we do is the trend is your friend. We do not trade against the trend. In other words, I'm not on this day, at this particular time, there's no way I'm going to short anything. I'm not going to short sell anything because the trend is up. And knowing the trend is up gives me a little tip-off down on the MACD in the bottom screen, even though the green line is below the red line right here. The momentum for the day is still way above the zero line, as you can see there. And down at the green lines here, they've gone down and they've leveled off, and they look like they might come back up. So what I'm thinking is there's a good chance right here, and with a low volatility of the market right now, it's not going to be a fast, extremely risky trade. So it's a good time for me to buy a couple of contracts here and see if I can get on board as this market tries to turn up again for the day. As you can see, we're only 1 minute into the trade, and it's trading at 34,627. So we're up about $9 in the trade. You can see the zero line situation in the bottom I described a moment ago, where I don't always get everything I want, but I expect this market to turn up at least a little bit here because the momentum is still so high. I'm going to zoom in here. You can see we're just about even money now, 34,615. We're down $3 in the trade. Remember, we have 2 of these Micro Emini contracts, the DJIA contracts, and that means they're 50 cents per contract, and with 2 of them, that's $1 a point. 34,613, so we're down $5 in the trade right now. Let's see what happens. Now I hit the Positions tab, and I'm going to select the bracket order here from the Positions tab. I'm going to click and drag that over on the left side of the screen. I'll show you why right now. I'm going to put the chart on the right side so I can see the live action on the right, and then I can play around with how I want to fix my bracket order up in this trade. Nice thing about it, it's a very, very slow acting trade, so I'm in no hurry to do this. And I put in there 34,590, which would be a loss of $28, and then I change it again to 34,595, which would be a maximum loss of $23. Notice the stop loss box does all the calculating for you. And I move it up to 34,599. And that calculates to be $19. It doesn't matter if I lose 23 or if I lose 19. It only matters $3. $3 is $3, of course, but it's a small amount. So I'm probably doing a lot of unnecessary testing and manipulating here. But again, it's because I'm not in a hurry. The trade's very calm over there on the right, doing almost nothing right now. I'm up in the green box now, which says close at a profit. This is the Christmas list. It doesn't matter what you put in there, and the market doesn't care at all. But you put something in there, and you try to get it far enough away. You're not going to settle for just a little bit of money on the trade. And I play around with it just a few times here. 34,685 for a target, and I say good. $67, and for some reason unknown to me, I say, oh, I'd be happy with that. And so that's the bracket order and how it got there. Now we can look at it over here on the screen, and you see at 34,595 is my stop market order. And since it's 34,618 is the trade, 18 plus 5, $23 is going to be the worst case scenario I can go on this trade. And my target price up there in Never Never Land at 34,685, a totally arbitrary. Now I'm going to fast forward in time for you here. We're at T plus 3 minutes, 12:34. We're going out to 7 minutes into the trade now. It's trading at 34,623. So that means we're up $5 in the trade. I knew it was going to be a slow trade. Didn't know it was going to be this slow. But you take what you get, right? 34,625 now. We're up $7 in the trade. Pull out the Tastyworks click and drag mouse to move that stop up a little bit, since I'm trading a little bit higher now. And I'm going to go from 34,595, 600. I'm going to take that and move that stop up. I'm using the incremental clicks on the left margin there. See how one click, one price there, and it goes up to 34,602. I decided to take it up a little bit more. 34,610. is where it's at now. That means worst case scenario on the trade now is I could lose $8. I'm going to reposition the screen here so we can all see it just a little bit better. And then all of a sudden I'm trading up to 34,629, so I cannot resist to make this a free trade. I just put the stop at the entry price. Now they're both 34,618, and that's where my stop is too. So now I've got a free trade. When I say free trade, that's just what I call it when I have a stop loss where I cannot lose any money out of my account from this trade. 13 minutes into the trade, move my stop up to 34,630. Now I'm in at 34,618, so that's 12 points. I'm up $12 is locked in now. That's the worst thing that can happen to me on the trade. I'm trading at 34,640 right now. So I'm up at about $22 in unrealized profits, unrealized gains, I should say. Move the stop up to 34,635 now, and that locks in $17, I think, on the trade. And it's finally turning up for me just a little bit in this thing, and I like the way that it's been low volatility all throughout the trade. Remember, that's what we wanted, a low volatility trade that wouldn't be real risky, that we could get some practice in on, learn better to trade by actually doing it. We're stalled out now at 34,641, and let's see what happens. Zooming in for a closer look here, 34,648 is where we're trading. So we're up $30 unrealized gains on the trade. And I get the Tastyworks mouse out, which is so much fun, and just click and drag with that left mouse button to move the stop up to 34,640, and we're trading 34,652 now. That's another high for this trade. So I get out the magic mouse and move it up once again, this time to 34,645. We'll zoom in there and watch and see what happens now. You see those three green candlesticks there? That's our unrealized gains in there. And now at 34,645, we're locked in at $27 profit as a worst case scenario. And we'll see what's going to happen next, see how much gas this upward move in momentum has left in the tank, so to speak. 34,651 right now. You can see the price, the trading price over there in the right margin, 34,652. We're $1 a point. And see, the value of this trade, the dollar change amount, is very, very little since I've been talking now. It's been $3 or $4, maybe $6 or $7. And there you go. We're stopped out of the trade. And we're going to have a nice $27 profit. So let's do the numbers. One of the things I do here on the channel is I count up the likes besides each video. They have a purpose here. The ones with the most likes, those are the ones that I make new videos that have similar things in them. So that's why I ask if you like the video you saw today, click the like button, and it helps me, of course, bring you the types of videos that you want to see. Thank you. Well, I said in the beginning that this was going to be kind of a slow trade. We used the smallest Micro Emini, the DJIA, 50 cents a point, 2 contracts, $1 a point, of course, as you saw. And it had low volatility, which was less risky. So this kind of, this type of trade, they don't all have to be just like this one, but you can look for opportunities where you have less risk in a trade. And when you're learning, that really helps you learn to handle the trade because things are moving around a little more slowly. Well, you can see the stats on today's trade. It wasn't too bad, 17 minutes, $27. And please remember to subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of the new videos I put up each week. I would appreciate that. And if you're interested in taking a look at more information about Tastyworks, there's a broker Tastyworks link below the text, right below the video here. And of course, I want you to take a look at my book, because though the 80 plus videos on the channel cover the material pretty well, it is quite scattered out and a lot of viewing time, and it helps to have a source like the book where you have things organized into the order, the logical order that you need to learn them in order to learn them faster and more accurately. It has all the important stuff crammed together, so to speak. And it's sure been fun with the trade today. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. I'm Don Singletary. I hope every day is a payday for you. And thank you.